What really happened to the Lyon sisters? Who was the mysterious man lurking at the mall? Did a twisted family's horrifying secrets steal their lives forever? As investigators delved deeper, they uncovered a chilling basement chamber where their desperate cries might have been silenced. And in a shocking twist, a man confesses to the unspeakable but refuses to disclose the location where the sisters' bodies are hidden. Let's have a look at the case of Sheila and Catherine Lyon. In 1975, Catherine and Sheila Lyon lived in Maryland with their parents and older brother. Maryland, a state in the mid-Atlantic region of the United States, boasts a rich history and diverse cultural landscape, known for its mix of urban centers, picturesque coastal areas, and lush landscapes. Maryland offers a wide range of experiences to its residents and visitors. Anchored by the vibrant city of Baltimore, Maryland's largest city, the state has a dynamic urban scene with a blend of historic neighborhoods, modern architecture, and a bustling harbor. Baltimore's Inner Harbor, once an industrial port, has been revitalized into a hub of entertainment, featuring attractions like the National Aquarium, museums, and waterfront restaurants. On March 25th, they left for the Westfield Wheaton Plaza shopping mall to see Easter displays and have lunch. Despite a curfew, they didn't return, prompting their parents to report them missing. Witness accounts helped establish a timeline. Seen talking to a man near the mall, eating at the mall's pizza place, and walking home around 2:30 to 3 p.m. The last sighting was crucial. The man outside the Orange Bowl was described as 6 feet, 50 to 60 years old, with a tape recorder in a briefcase, demonstrating a radio cassette player. Another suspect, a young man, was described by a witness. The case rattled the community, leading parents to restrict children's outdoor activities. A lead from Lloyd Lee Welsh claimed he saw the man taking the girls, but he failed a lie detector test, admitting to fabricating the story for a reward. Later, a witness reported seeing bound girls in a car resembling the suspects. The story drew attention, but doubts emerged due to hoaxers and questionable sources. A ransom request came but was unfulfilled, and the investigation continued without a clear resolution. There were suspects, like Fred Howard Coffey, but nothing tied them to the crime. In 1979, Coffey beat and strangled a 10-year-old girl in North Carolina. He was found guilty in 1987. 6 days after the Lyon sisters went missing, the police found out that he had an interview for a job in Silver Spring, Maryland, and then got the job. Investigators could not figure out if Coffey had anything to do with the disappearances, so he was never charged. At the time of their absence, Raymond Rudolph Mileski Sr. lived in Suitland, Maryland. In November 1977, he killed both his wife and his teenage son. He was found guilty and given a 40-year prison term based on tips from prison informants and Mileski's own claims that he knew something about the case, which he was willing to talk about in exchange for better prison conditions. In April 1982, the police searched his old home. There was no proof, and Raymond Rudolph Mileski died in jail in 2004. The police talked to a lot of people and followed up on a lot of tips. There was a search of every patch of woods or bushes, every storm sewer, and every empty house for miles. The residents of a nearby nursing home were interviewed one by one, and scuba divers looked through the mud at the bottom of ponds, but nothing was found, and nothing the cops did help. The case kept the Montgomery County Police Department up at night, and many officers had tried to solve it over the years. Every so often, a new team would start over, going through all of the yellow boxes of evidence to see if they missed anything. In 2012, the Montgomery County Police Department made one last effort to figure out what happened to the Lyon sisters. Their plan was to act as if a call about the 2 missing girls had just come in and to look through the boxes of case records as if they were starting from scratch. A short report that detectives wrote a week after the disappearances was one of the most interesting things they found early on. The story was about 18-year-old Lloyd Lee Welsh, who said that he saw the tape recorder man take the girls. This was not true. When the police started looking into the case again, they found out that Lloyd Welsh went on to commit a lot of crimes. In 1977, in Montgomery County, he was arrested for breaking into a house 8 blocks from Wheaton Plaza Mall and stealing $580 worth of gold. The theft case led to a mugshot that looked a lot like a sketch of a man who stared at a lion girl for so long at a mall in 1975 that people had to talk to him. The new detectives found out that Welsh was in jail in Delaware because he had been found guilty of assaulting a 10-year-old girl there in 1998. Not knowing what to expect, the detectives drove to see him. Would he want to talk with them at all? He did, it turns out. Welsh talked for 8 hours straight. Detective Dave Davis and Montgomery Deputy State's Attorney P. Feeney went to Dover on October 16, 2013, to talk to Welsh. He admitted that he was at the mall on the day the Lyon sisters went missing, but he said he had nothing to do with them going missing. The detectives kept trying to find out everything they could about Welsh. They found out that his mother died when the car his drunken father, Lee, was driving crashed. Lloyd Welsh was a passenger. He was put in foster homes, but he ran away and lived on the streets, where he did whatever he wanted. As an adult, he moved around the country, sometimes hitchhiking. At one point, he started a landscaping business in South Carolina. He was also found guilty of beating a 10-year-old in that state, just like in Delaware. As investigators delved into Welsh's history, they repeatedly visited Delaware for discussions. In subsequent conversations, Welsh fabricated multiple falsehoods about his involvement in the Lyon case. Eventually, he confessed to aiding in the girl's abduction, but shifted blame to family members, altering his narrative and implicating cousins in the kidnapping. During the summer of 2014, a significant investigation into the entire Welsh clan was initiated, revealing startling revelations. The clan had 2 segments, one in Hyattsville, Maryland, and the other on a secluded hilltop known as Taylor's Mountain in Thaxton, Virginia, about a 5-hour drive away. Despite some family members moving to more modern locations near Bedford, the Appalachian heritage remained prevalent in the secluded mountain area. The family's ways in Mountain Hollow were always at odds with the rest of suburbia. They were suspicious of outsiders, disrespectful of any kind of authority, stuck in poverty, and quick to use violence. During one of the interviews, Welsh talked about cousins he had seen hurt at least one of the Lyon girls and killed her. If the girls were taken by this family, as Welsh said, and as detectives now think, someone in the family might be able to tell investigators more. In 2015, Welsh said that his uncle Richard was the main person to blame. He said that Richard had planned the girls' theft and deaths. At the time, Richard Welsh was almost 70, but he looked older. In addition to having heart problems, he had to deal with a scary list of charges. Several of his family members said that he had treated them badly and violently in the past. Richard Welsh lied about everything. He had to go before a grand jury in February 2015, but he still stuck to his story. He said he had never seen either of the Lyon sisters and did not know what happened to them. On May 12, 2015, officers went back to see Lloyd Welsh to see if he had anything else to say. He kept making up stories to explain what had happened to Sheila and Catherine, always putting the blame on someone else. He kept saying more and more about himself and the crime, sometimes by accident. The detectives came to understand that you had to forget the story. To read Welsh, you had to look beyond the stories and into the specifics. In Lloyd Welsh's recurring stories, certain details consistently emerged. Stalking girls at the mall, a station wagon, a weeping girl in the car's backseat, a basement leading to a garden, an axe, an army green duffel bag, and a bonfire. Detective Dave Davis investigated these elements. In May 2015, he searched for the location where Welsh and his uncle Richard supposedly killed Catherine Lyon, placed her body in a duffel bag, and instructed him to take it to Taylor's Mountain. The old house of Uncle Richard, situated beside the police station, was demolished for a new district court building. Despite Welsh's claims, the house seemed an unlikely place to hide the missing girls. Following leads, Dave visited Buchanan Street, mentioned by Welsh, and identified a house where Welsh's family had lived. Dave's new landlords guided him to a basement accessed from the house's rear. Inside, he found a dim, low-ceilinged stone room filled with old furniture. Dave recognized this as the right place to conceal two frightened young girls, a hidden location where actions could be performed without detection. The following day, Dave and his investigative team returned and used Blue Star spray, revealing blood throughout the room, indicating that Sheila and Catherine Lyon had likely spent their final moments there. This contradicted Welsh's claims that his uncle's house was safe. Lloyd Welsh's room was identified as the crime scene, leading to enough evidence for his charge. In 2017, he confessed to killing the Lyon sisters, though he downplayed his involvement. A 48-year sentence was given, essentially a life term given his age. However, Welsh refuses to disclose the location of the bodies, causing frustration. Investigators are probing whether he acted alone, as his uncle Richard, a mall cop, could have potentially been involved, given his proximity to the case. If you think the video was shocking, check out the previous case we explored on screen now.